Hello and welcome to another episode of May the Code Be With Us with KSP Rp-1. A bit of time has passed since the previous episode, in-game time, so let's see what has been happening. So I've been launching off-screen the hopper, the Geesecard hoppers, to just gather as much science as I could. Yeah, we have 88 science points in total. Of course, I've been using them, but I've been getting quite a few upgrades points and such. I ended up building just the hoppers instead of making a smaller sounding rocket for just the biological sample capsule, because, well, it turns out I could just angle them a little bit and get the, because shooting them straight up gets me from space above Earth's shores, but if I angle them a little bit, I can get also above water and above the tropics. So I already got all the data from shores and water. It's just I just need the tropics, and also I unlocked the science node, which gives me the iomass spectrometer, which is also upper atmosphere and low space, probably also high space, I'm not sure. Yeah, space high. But also the advanced biological capsule. So I've also been getting this data with it. And I'm going to keep doing that, but so why did I start suddenly recording right now? Because of a slight issue. No, not space please. Be right back. Okay, so here's the issue. Most were 31st of January 1958, and well, Jeb retires in April, Bill in February, Bob in May, and Valentin in August. I actually flew 2 missions with the trainer aircraft, and it only pushed the retirement dates back a few months. So if I want to keep all 4 of the pilots, I'm going to be having to fly at least probably like 4 trainer missions a year, which is just going to be really tedious, and they'll probably end up killing one of them at some point because it still veers off from the runway after a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is just try to keep Valentina around. So actually, yeah, I forgot I need to train her for the mission, do the mission course. Because yeah, she has 4 more months than Jeb. Because also Bill and Bob are not going to be useful even after we get the first capsule, because it's only 1 person capsule, and there's really not much for them to do anyway. So I do have a Glaurung here waiting, and there's an X-Planes contract that's available that I think I can do it with the Glaurung one. So I'm going to see how far away it pushes Valentina's retirement date in just 1 mission. Because I really don't know if the complexity of the mission has anything to do with how far it pushes the retirement date back. I mean, the trainer missions I just took off, flew around, and landed. So maybe that's why it didn't push it that much. But yeah, there's nothing for all 4 of them to do. I wouldn't even be able to build something capable of doing more than just flying around in time. So I'm going to put Valentina through the mission course, and then we'll come back in the runway. Okay, so here we're in the runway. Bill, I believe it was Bill, has already retired, so yeah, we're getting to that point. Control surface check. So We'll again do this from this side, but let's check the contract first. I don't think I'll get any crude records because I have to hold within a specific margin both speed and the altitude, and I think I won't have enough fuel afterwards to attempt anything. 900 meters per second is quite high, especially. So between 395 and 595, I don't know what's wrong with just saying 400 and 600, but okay. And 11,500 and 13,500 meters altitude. So yeah, we'll aim to just be in the middle of those two and hold for 3 minutes. Perfect. Let's set the cockpit up. Yeah, that's why did this not pop up? Do I have to do anything else? I don't. Yeah, precise. Let's lock the stage since I don't need it, and it's just better to yeah, better. Okay, so I want to keep this up and probably get rid of this. I have the altitude and speed indicators here. Let's go. That may be a little bit too loud, but I can edit it later if I remember to do so. We're going way too much to the side. Pull up soon. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Okay, we're up. Takeoff is always nerve-wracking. I always feel that I'm going to smack it into the runway again. So I'm just going to burn through all the... Last time I attempted, I don't think I get to the required altitude on the jet engines alone. So I'll just try to get as high as possible and then turn on the, well, once we run out of jet fuel, turn on the rockets. And I'm definitely ditching this in the ocean unless I fly enough to get to Cuba, but I don't think so. So yeah, we're stable in the air. I'll come back when it's time to light the rocket engine. Okay, so we're about to run out of jet fuel, and I actually did have a crash in between when I last left you at right now. so I had to reload the whole game and everything. So yeah, I just spent the last few minutes wrestling back control after quick loading. Yeah, we're almost ready to turn the rocket engine on. Passing almost 10k meters. Okay, so first let's get to the desired altitude, increase the efficiency of the rocket, and then we'll start gunning for the speed. Well, we want both to increase. I don't want to nose up too much. Let's just try to maintain it level. I'm rolling. The roll is too sensitive on this plane. I should lower it. I keep forgetting. Well, I wasn't even sure if I was going to fly this plane again, so I did not feel the need to make any modifications to it. I need to go to climb more. Of course, all this wiggling doesn't help either. Okay, we're almost at our target altitude. Let's nose down. Target altitude reached. Well, minimum target altitude. We want to maintain at around 12.5k. So that means don't go down like I'm doing. Okay, yeah, first I shouldn't climb too much as long as the speed is below the minimum threshold. I think what I'm going to do is just try to maintain it here at a very slight climb, and once we're past 395 meters per second, start throttling down to conserve fuel. And countdown has started, so let's throttle back down a little bit. So we are going down, so that's not good. That's not what we want. That looks good. Speed is increasing. Altitude is increasing, and we're at 86% throttle. Though I don't know, because I think how this is supposed to work is that it has 4 chambers, and throttle is just basically turning one of them off. So I don't know how well that is modeled here. If okay, I could probably check. Throttle specific thrust 22 kilonewtons. Yeah, it actually lowers it, so it's not completely accurate. We're still, yeah, the speed is still climbing. Yeah, because I think this original engine, so basically it just had 25, 50, 75 and 100% throttle, no in-betweens. But I guess that would be quite hard to model in KSP. throttle back down a bit more. We're starting to go back down. We do not want that, so let's also want to start. Oh no, don't do that, don't do that. Easy, smooth controls, smooth. We want to start aiming a little bit towards Cuba. So there. Just a lazy turn to the right. Though SAS is not good for lazy turns because it wants to keep the heading, even though the heading of the prograde vector is changing. Throttle back down a little bit more. And when the crash happened, I had already gone past like burn all my fuel, and it doesn't last long enough to do all the 3 minutes if I just keep it at full throttle. So I have to manage my throttle. So I don't know if we'll have enough fuel, given that I lost some altitude when I reloaded the save, and it tends to nose down whenever you reload. And now I'm losing speed, so we don't want that. Okay, that's we're heading towards Cuba now. I should really stop with any unnecessary maneuvers. Just aim up, and SAS, hopefully it won't wiggle too much. He says as he watches it wiggle. Okay, now we can throttle back down again. How are we doing? 40 seconds. I think that fuel should last us 40 seconds at this throttle. I'm going to let it go back down now. Doesn't matter. We have a 1 full kilometer of leeway there, so I'm just going to aim. Yeah. I shouldn't have moved it. It's wiggling too much again. 20 seconds. I'm not comfortable with it nosing down that much. Eight. Yep, we're going to make it this time. Perfect. So we just need to not crash on landing. So yeah, the crash kind of helped me there. I don't know how to feel about that because it's still a pain. I honestly don't know what else to do to make this save more stable. I think it's probably not the culprit, but I do have tweak skilled because it's needed for one of, I have a decals mod, I forget which one, and you do get a warning that Twig skill is not supported by RP1, but supposedly as long as you are just careful which parts you use Twig skill with, should be a problem. But for some reason the decals don't. I loaded the image files into the folder and I still cannot get my space program flag or the Mexican flag on it, so I think I'll just remove it. In the end, decals just add more parts to clutter up the system. Okay, let's learn from our mistakes and quick save. So I'll try to see if I can get to Cuba to land, but either way I'll just do this and then yeah, you don't have to see this, so we'll just go back to the Space Center and we'll do another hopper launch after this, so I'll be back with that. Okay, so we're back at the again flooded Kerbal Space Center, and this is what I'm talking about. The following retirement changes have occurred. Valentina Kerman, no earlier than September 1958, and before the slide it was August 1958, so it seems that each mission is just pushing it 1 month away, and I would just have to keep flying like weird missions just for the sake of it. So yeah, I think at this point I'm just going to let them all retire, and then when we start researching capsules we'll hire a new generation and do some more explain missions to get them some experience. But yeah, aside from that, yeah, of course, no science gathered. About 285 from the funds recovered. I did manage to barely get to Cuba. And so yeah, it's not really that much funds. It takes a lot of time to do these missions, so that's why I'm not really too keen on keeping them from retiring if I'm going to have to do missions every 2 months. Okay, so let's go for the Discard Hopper launch. Okay, we're now on Launchpad. All my Kerbals have retired as expected. So yeah, we'll have to hire new ones once we have capsules. But let's just launch this. And I'm launching this towards the west to get the data from the tropics. So actually let's get the orbit info because it tells us the biome. And then while we watch this go up, I'm unsure what to do next because we will unlock satellite era material science soon, before the next rocket is completed. And for the Discard 2, if I replace all the Tank 2 tanks with Tank 3 versions, it will definitely have more than enough to reach polar orbit. And at that point I thought, well, it's not going to really give me, I don't need the funds urgently, and it's not going to give me any new science, so I could just wait until we have solar panels and do both the polar orbit and the first solar powered satellite contract together. But it turns out that for the solar powered contract you need a perigee of at least 300 kilometers. So well, I think what I'm going to do is still go for, after this, go for the solar powered tech, and then just design a bigger rocket, just still with these with the available parts right now. Why? Yeah, sometimes the code is not designed to keep using the same equation at this speed, so it kind of starts angling up again, but it's fine for our purposes. We just need to fly over the Yucatan for a decently long time in space, and we're not even in space anymore. Okay, space above the tropics. This thing is running. This one is not biodependent, but still running. It needs an entire day, so we won't get everything just from this. And I don't know if I'm just going to keep doing these rockets just for this, or if eventually to just put it in orbit. And we also have our mass spectrometer, which also, well, it doesn't take that long. It's an hour and a half, well, plus. I think it was 2 hours at first. Now, unfortunately, it is kind of angling downwards, so I might just kill the program and ditch the second stage altogether. We'll see how it's going. So yeah, this second stage is not going to help us at all. Plus, I think we're going to be over the water before it ignites anyways. So I'm going to just kill the program and... yeah. I need to do my display again like I did in my previous series with the abort button for these kind of things. Yeah. The couple and the arm. So we just switched back to shores, and I do believe we got like half the data. So just one more of these launches should be good, which the rocket is already cooking. But yeah, that's what I meant by yeah. I mean, maybe I should cancel the rocket to make a cheaper one. But then, yeah, actually, I think, yeah. Maybe just add a tank with ballast and get rid of the engines, obviously, so that it doesn't, like, throw it into solar orbit just because of the lack of, I mean, this stage is still relatively heavy. Well, but we're still getting data from these two, so well, I'll just follow this down, and I think I'll come back in the Space Center to see what we are going to do with the science. I'll keep on recording in case anything interesting happens. Oof. Okay, that was bad. Yeah, that kind of needs retro rockets, doesn't it? Oh, I'm scrapping the last one, so... But yeah, for the ballast tank, I think I should add retro rockets. Yeah, there's a lot of things flying around. I'm glad that the film return camera no longer burns up that easily. On my previous series I had the problem that even behind the heat shield it was overheating just because it was in contact with the heat shield. I think it was more of a bug because even if I put something else as a buffer, the film camera would explode and nothing else. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to show that. Things almost went bad for us, but everything is good. Everything is good. I'll be back in the KSC. Okay, so 2.8 credits of science. And by credits I mean science points, I guess. So not a lot, unfortunately. 28.4, so how are we doing? Yeah, 91, not a lot. Still, let's see. So this is where it's at. Right now, we're researching here. And yeah, we'll get balloon tanks, which would I've never actually tried using balloon tanks. These, like as it says, deprecated. That's how you pronounce that. Deprecated. I don't know. I've only ever seen this word written. But it just means that these options are available for the procedural tanks. And just changing from type 2 to type 3 will make the rocket lighter and probably make the Giscard 2 able to reach a polar orbit. So when we get that, we can either go for electronics research and try to get a, but then I would need a new rocket to get a perigee at 300 kilometers. We cannot go straight for this because we need electronics first. We could take a small detour, and I think this one would only take 70 days. And I don't know if 88 kilometers, I could use these as side boosters, I guess. Or we could just go straight for orbital rocketry. Because I don't think I'm going to get any of these upgrades. So go straight to orbital rocketry. But that would take some time, and then while I mean, obviously this is all after this is done researching, and then while we're getting data units on the RD-107 and 108, research this, and then put a proper. We could probably take care of the science satellite, the polar satellite, and the solar powered satellite in one launch. But it would mean it would take a lot of time. Like, let's see. So it would have to be, yeah, 138 for the one we're currently doing. Then 141. So that's 522. 660 days. That's actually less than 2 years to be flying like an R7 type rocket. And then launching a few things while we do the electronics. Oh, but yeah, this is the one that takes also a lot of time. I don't know. I'll see once this is done. For now, I think I have to modify this rocket to make it cheaper and hopefully take less time. And I'm just going to launch that off camera again. So I don't know what will happen next episode. I'll see when I get to something that is worth recording. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.